And we are live. There it is, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm wearing my glasses today. And you'll ask, oh, Mike, why are you wearing the glasses today? Are you copying someone? Are you trying to make a statement of some kind? Why the glasses today, Mike? I'll tell you why the glasses today. Because I was going to stream at 8 or 9 p.m. I was planning around like 8:30, 9 p.m. And you know what I did? I fell asleep. You know why I fell asleep? Because my stress response when I get super stressed out is to fall asleep. It's to curl up like a bear somewhere warm and toasty and sleep away my problems. Why was I stressed out, you ask? You're asking a lot of the right questions. First of all, we got to get this out of the way. I'll get into the story. I have strongly considered just retiring the Jesse Ventura joke. I have strongly considered just retiring it. A joke is funny as long as it feels like people are entertained and it's not becoming something it doesn't need to be. Okay? You know, one of the jokes here, this coin, this exclusive, one-of-a-kind, day one switch to launch coin, it's a funny joke. You know why? Because it's ridiculous. I'm going to let you guys see behind the curtain a little bit. Because it's ridiculous for me to make a big deal about a coin like this. Ridiculous. Sometimes people take it seriously. They get really upset. They get really frustrated. And then all of a sudden now they're like, well, I sent Jeremy one of those coins to prove you wrong because you always talk about that stupid coin. Everybody wants to make a big deal about the coin. It's funny, you know, until people get upset, you know. The Jesse Ventura thing is funny. It's a joke. I'm copying Will Sasso, a guy I really enjoy and I think is funny and does a great Jesse Ventura impression. It's funny until people get upset, and now people want to make it a competition. And now every time I do it, I have to talk over other people that are doing it at the same time I'm doing it. And then they're sending their people that like them and watch them are getting worked up in a tizzy and commenting on things and getting upset with me about, well, I don't think your impression is nearly as good as so-and-so's impression. And, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I just, you know, blah, blah, blah here and this and that. And I just don't, I have no interest. I have no interest in dealing with people's nonsense, okay? I enjoy nonsense, and I can enjoy people, but I don't enjoy people's nonsense, okay? You're gonna get upset with me over a fucking Jesse Ventura impression? Balls up on you, man. Do your fucking thing. Be upset in your corner, and I'll just keep doing me. You know, when people want to try to make it a thing, well, my impression's better. Well, Mike only got it from this other person. At that point, the joke has lost all its flavor. It's lost all its seasoning. You know? And I just don't feel like dealing with it. I just don't feel like competing with people over something as stupid as making fun of Jesse Ventura. It's just not interesting. Okay? I do have good news. We're going to talk about that good news. And then I'm going to get into saying hi to the chat. We already got a first. He's quick on the draw. And so we're going to give him his props. Real quick. Turd has dropped it already. Now Till the 7th have dropped it already. We are officially in affiliation with the lovely Rippaverse, as X-Wing would say it, we are officially Rip affiliates. Okay? What does that mean exactly? It means the next time you go, you know what? I want a good comic book to read. You know what? I want a rad shirt from some of my favorite comic book characters. Next time you go, you know what? Caro Brown did a really cool, awesome comic series called Dirty Deeds, and I want to get me a copy of it. The next time you want to get something from Rippaverse and you go to the checkout, there's a little coupon code there. And if you put the code Epic Mike in, it's Epic Mike for now. Don't worry, we'll change it around eventually. When you put code Epic Mike in there, you get a nice little discount on your boy. You get a nice little discount, okay? And yeah, I get a little bit of a kickback from that. So when you're supporting them, you're getting a discount, and I'm also seeing a little bit of that too. You're helping me, you're helping the Rippaverse, and you're helping yourself with good entertainment. Good stories and good entertainment. So next time you're over there, use that code Epic Mike, and you will get yourself a nice little discount on some Rippaverse products. I appreciate you guys. This has always been the plan. We've been in the works for a little while here. Been talking to him for a hot little minute here. If you ask me, because I know people are gonna say, well, I don't want to hear any of the nonsense. I like the Rippaverse. I love seeing my friends win. Starting a comic book company in the midst of the culture wars, saying I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and I make a comic book company and make comic books and characters, put them out there for the world to see, working with people like Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron, giving people opportunities like with Ripascend, helping people like our boy Drunk 3PO, Jay, the best of us, Achromatic Chronicles, now Daughter's Revenge, X-Wing, our boy X-Wing getting himself a book, a comic book out there, a graphic novel out there. That's rad. That's fucking awesome. That's what you want to see happen. Okay? So, good news. That's the cool announcement there. We're associated now, affiliates with the Rippaverse. Make sure you use the code if you want to get a nice little discount. It also works for merch. The only thing it doesn't work on right now is bundles, because bundles are already discounted. But if you do I want it all and you put my code in there, let's see a little something. Okay? Appreciate y'all. And shout out to the Rippaverse. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Brandon, shout out to Caro, shout out to Kara, shout out to Rippa himself, Mr. Eric D. July. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for thinking of me and getting me involved in that. So there it is. Good news. All right, let's start saying hi to people in the chat. First and foremost, it's important that we acknowledge the firsts. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. And you know what? Our first in chat, we've seen him before. It's been a hot minute, but he's here and he was quick on the draw. Clownpilled 199 first says, a Meek and cheese and a large onion ring with a Coke, please. Your soul's glowing.
Just let it shine through.
Just let your soul glow.
Feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow.
There it is. Shout out to Clownpill199. Appreciate you. Oh, much love to you. Hey, Glenathan. Hello, sir. Good to see you, Glenathan. Hey, appreciate you. Glenathan's been active on Twitter, been talking, dropping thoughts. I appreciate you, Glenathan. I really do. I always appreciate your commentary, appreciate your thoughts. I also just appreciate when you drop in and just salute everybody, all of it. We got Mrs. Rough Night was third in chat. The lovely, the wonderful Mrs. Rough Night. You know her, you love her. We all love her, but Mr. Rough Night loves her the most. Literally, esoterically, romantically, but we do love her. Okay. Oh shoot, Wicked Virtue just raided. Hey Wicked, welcome in Raiders. I appreciate you. What should I play for you guys? What's a cool Raider song? Do I have a Raider sound? We'll just let me see here. Hold on, I got a sound alert for this. Hold on. No, that's not it. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Look what you did,
that's not it either. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Daddy, chill.
Nope. Hold on. Hold on. Raiders.
Hi, Miguel! Miguel! Hey!
Thank you for the raid, Wicked. I appreciate it. All right, listen, we're gonna go fast here to catch up because I'm way behind on chat. You've never heard me say this before. If you're new here and you've never been in here, no one has ever heard me say that I'm behind on chat. I am never, ever behind on chat. I'm always caught up. I'm always right at the forefront of exactly what you guys are talking about. Every time. I've never been an hour and a half behind on stream responding to things that you guys said so far back that those people have since gone to bed and new people have come in. Never happened. Okay? Never happened. Innocent of Rabbits, welcome in. Good to see you. Shout out Naruto the 7th, mod extraordinaire. Appreciate you. I am doing well, sir. I hope you are also doing well. I appreciate you. Son of Sanguina says Jeremy's a fig. This is where the true straights flock. True straights, true gays. You know, we're true here. The key word there is true. Jeremy's a fake fig and a real fig, but a true fig? No. The truth is here, and the truth will set us free. Let's see here. Fruit of the Mystery, shout out, good to see you. Scrap Iron says, hey, what's happening? Hey, how you doing, Scrap Iron? Good to see you, man. D'Andrew P. Balls Vask. D'Andrew P. Balls Vask. Meek Chura is running wild. Jared the Hut, welcome in. It's late night meeking. Yeah, that's true. Mountain Mud says, so we're the Meeklings now. It's the cult of Meek. We are the Meek, but I'm okay with you guys having little branches. Meeklings, the Meek and Meekats, things like that. I'm okay with that. Meekers, Meekas, all cool with them all. As long as you're part of the cult of Meek, you get in where you fit in, you know? That's what matters to me. And then pay your taxes. What? Let's see here. CJ Zinker, what's up, man? Good to see you. What's up, Southmouth? That's thanks. Appreciate you. Escapo says, I'm loving these thumbnails. Hey, if you like the thumbnail, you know who did it? Our boy Turd Ferguson did it. Turd Ferguson made that. I actually really liked the thumbnails. I thought they were rad. I didn't realize he had sent them to me. And I want to be honest. We've already conscripted him into service by being, you know, a mod here in the chat. Should I make him make more of these thumbnails? I feel, because here's the thing. Once you sick Turd onto something, he can't let go of it. He has to keep going. And I have to make these AI thumbnails myself. I do it already. I do it just because it's easier than in putting together thumbnails because I'm lazy and blah, blah, blah. But like, I also wouldn't complain if I, like, you know, forcibly conscripted Turd into deeper servitude by making him make thumbnails for me as well. Not all the time. Doesn't have to be for every stream. I do a lot of streaming. But if I just randomly have a bunch of like saved random images that Turd has put together that are relevant to whatever, relevant to the channel brand, and he's making them for me, I won't complain. And it also means that I force my rival to become my greatest ally, So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to just talk to Turd about that. Maybe I'll have to get on up there and talk to Turd about it. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. I'm so fucking behind, dude. Hi, Gamer Girl 199. Hey, what's up, Gunho Mac? Good to see you. How much tax to start the stream? It's free. I started it for free. Hey, what's up, Mark Andre Roy? Shout out, my friend. Appreciate you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Clownpill for 109 for Canadian 2 says, snow shoveling in the Blizzard stream this weekend? Bro, I would never stream myself doing such a thing. But there's been a lot of shoveling. A stupid amount of shoveling, dude. I'm legitimately sick of shoveling snow. Rabnat Scubbler says Jeremy is live, but he's live all the time. It's Meek time. Hey, shout out. What's up, RPC Music? The Meekend is here. Hey, shout out. Thank you. X Wonderland says it's going to be a crazy weekend. You are not wrong. It's already been a crazy weekend. Hi, Donna Hall. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Epic Southmouth Meeky banned says, yo, what up, Meek in chat? Banned forever. You're banned permanently. Thank you for being here. Charles Devane says, oh yeah. Says, hail Meek, yeah. The cream of the crop on whatever this stream is supposed to be, yeah. It's just a random stream, brother, with random names in it, yeah. Also, this whole stream is a goddamn conspiracy. Literally at this point, because frankly, I don't even know what I'm gonna stream, yeah. I just turn on the camera. I never know what I'm gonna be doing next. Shout out Charles Devane, appreciate you. Benology with 3 Ys says, I survived half an Epic show with Ben and no Meek, and all I got was an entirely S tier ranked list. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a damn good time. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Shout out Ladybug. Hi, Ladybug. Good to see you. Darth Bane for 2 says, Epic Mike Ripa affiliate tax. Hashtag Beardo's Ventura sucks. That's wild. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Clownpill for the 2. Thank you, Darth Bane for the 2. Appreciate you guys. Java Knight says, Snow Meekgeddon. Snow Meekgeddon. Yeah, it's pretty bad out there.
If you would join us.
Hey, thank you for the follow. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Gunno Max says, this stream is available down in the Baja. I live in the Baja. I don't live in the continental United States. I live in the Baja. I don't even enter the continental United States for about 9 months out of the year. There's just no point for me to be there. The government actively resists me being there. Okay, in the state of our country, they don't want real patriots there. They'd rather have people, a milquetoast soft, non-wrestler, small-armed, panty-waisted individuals in the country. They don't like real patriots there. So I stay in the Baja where it's warm, and my dogs are there, and my corn tortillas and my silos full of corn tortillas are always warm. You see, here in the U.S. of A., the continental U.S. of A., it's very cold. And if you're going to eat corn tortillas, you're going to eat them cold because it's always cold. You have to walk outside to your silo and open it up, and then they get exposed to the elements. But here down in the Baja, it's always warm. And you know what happens when it's warm outside? I can send one of my dogs, one of my trained protective animals outside, one of my trained dogs. Speaking of which, I have over 100 of them with me at all times. No matter where I go, even in the continental United States, I always have at least 100 dogs within 30 meters of me. You may not see them, but that's because they're also trained ninjas. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the corn tortillas. I have them go out. I say to my favorite, his name is Buster. Buster's have been around the longest out of all the 100 dogs. He's in dog years, probably 85 years old, but he's extremely healthy. The veterinarian said, I've never seen a dog that looks as healthy as this one. I've never seen one like this. How did you do it? And I said, well, frankly, it's none of your damn business. But secondly, because I bred a specific type of dog that I think perfectly encapsulates what dogs should be and what patriots really are. The core of a patriot is someone who's willing to fight no matter what, and willing to protect the innocent citizens around the citizens around them. And you know what best encapsulates that fighting spirit? A Chihuahua. That's correct. A lot of people think Chihuahuas aren't dangerous. Well, you've never been one-on-one in a Chihuahua in the middle of Vietnam, in the middle of the night, with only a broken knife in your belt to protect yourself from it. I was a Navy SEAL, so frankly, I wouldn't have been in any real danger, but a regular person, they would be in danger. And then on top of that, I said, well, you know what? We need to breed these with a more compassionate dog. We need to make sure that we crossbreed these Chihuahuas with something a little less dangerous. And so I bred them with a German Shepherd. You see, German Shepherds, despite being from Germany exclusively, also are very loyal dogs. But when you breed them with Chihuahuas, you make a very specific type of dog that's very loyal and also is quite fond of corn tortillas. And so I say to Buster, I say, hey Buster, as I'm drinking some of my homemade lemonade, it has a very exclusive recipe that I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's for me only, me and my wife, my second wife, because I've been married 8 times. I know you're asking yourself, but you just said it's your second wife. Well, yes, absolutely. She was my favorite of the 8 that I've had, and so I still hang out with her from time to time. And she's the only one I trusted to give my exclusive one-of-a-kind lemonade recipe to. And so I go to her and I say, hey, honey, would you like some of this lemonade? And then I tell Buster, I say, Buster, go to the silo and I go get me some of the corn tortillas for breakfast. And he goes out because he's a loyal dog and he knows what he's doing. And he goes and gets me my corn tortillas. I usually eat about 4 of them in the morning with some eggs and bacon. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, what kind of bacon are you using in the Baja? Well, I'm using a very exclusive kind of bacon, and it's a secret recipe that I'm not going to tell you about. So remember when I told you guys, when I labeled this stream, the Meekiverse of Madness? Yeah, I hope you guys understood that I wasn't kidding. The later it is and the less direction I have when I stream, the more we're going to get into things like this. I just want you guys to understand this. Okay? I don't remember a single thing that I just said, but I know it had something to do with Jesse Ventura. So, I don't even remember where I was at, and I'm way behind on chat now. B Clark says diabetes. Well, I don't have diabetes.
Diabetes.
I don't have diabetes, and I'm also on a diet. I'm losing a lot of weight.
Diabetes.
So Frank the Tank says, what the fuck was that? I don't know, Frank. I don't even know what you're referencing anymore. Probably something I did, some kind of boomery thing that I did, but here we are, man. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you. Brother Bear says, now Meek is also online. I have questions about this butt plug from X-Wing. Listen, I thanked X-Wing for his help today when it came to the crisis that I ran into this morning, and he then turned around and said that I asked him to make me a custom butt plug, which I've never done. I would never do that. I frankly would never do something like that. I would never do that. So I don't know what he was talking about. Elder says, great, now I want fried chicken. Yeah, fried chicken sounds really good right now, actually. What's up, Turd Ferguson? Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Conscripting you into service. Oh shoot, why is this doing this? Hold on. There we go. Delu Reality, good to see you as well. I haven't said hi to hardly anybody right now. I'm so behind. What's up, the Afeet? Good to see you as well. Why is Turd having all his stuff deleted? What's going on here? Man, the thumbnail sucks. Thanks for using them, dude. Hey, no problem, Turd. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. What's up, Darth Bane? Mountain Mud for 5 says, Meekzation without representation. This seems uncomfortably familiar. Well, there's no T and there's no harbor to throw it in because the Meek Republic is completely landlocked and surrounded on all sides by various countries run by a random dictator whose name starts with M that we know very almost nothing about. So probably better just to not try to do anything. Diluted Reality says, for anyone interested in politics and polling, follow Rich Bear as the People's Pundit. Well, there you go. The Horror Host says, Mike had blood vessels burst in his eyes, so he has to wear sunglasses. It's not that. It's just that I'm very tired today. I was very tired. I literally just woke up from a nap and then sat down on my computer. Well, that's not true. Went on some random tangent to Lady Epic, and she sat there looking at me like a supportive, loving partner who also is watching their spouse descend into madness. And then I was like, I have to go stream because I have to channel this energy somewhere. Why don't you tell me why you're wearing the glasses? Okay. What's up, RCP Music? I think I already said hi to you. True Vintage RMBF fan. Let's see here. Are you nice and warm tonight, Miki? I am. All right, let's get into this. Okay. Why am I stressed? Okay. So this morning I woke up. Okay. First time I had gotten more than 2 hours of sleep in a run in probably a week and a half. I wake up. I'm like, oh, I actually got some sleep. I get up. I put on some jammies. I like to sleep in the nude. I'm just kidding. It wasn't nude, but anyways, I put on my jammies. I go out and just casually, my kids are like, "Hey, Dad, the air vents, the air vents are blowing out cold air." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, the air vents, they're blowing out cold air." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's not good." So I go check on my thermostat, and it says it's 64 degrees in the house, and the thing is, outside, it's -1 officially, but the wind chill, which we are facing head on, was -20. That's pretty cold. Pretty freaking cold. So you go, okay, that's not good. So I open up my furnace and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I go, okay, well, I know how to shut it all off. I shut the whole thing down, turn it back on again. It immediately kicks onto a blower and nothing's happening and it's not working. And I'm like, okay. And what proceeded was me calling a tech to come look at. Well, me doing all the steps that I know how to do without getting heavy into the technical aspects of it to work on my furnace. Okay. I know a little bit about working on furnaces. My old furnace I could actually work on. This one, not so much. It's a lot newer. Don't know as much about it. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I've done what I know what to do. I call a technician from this company that I used to work with a lot when I was a technician. They're good people. They're like, yeah, let's see what we can do about this. Let's see if we can get a tech out to you. I'm like, cool, awesome. In the meantime, we got to get some space heaters going. I haven't had to use a space heater in years, so I have to like dig them out and find them. You know, but the temperatures are steadily dropping in the house. Now we're at like 60 degrees. I'm like, okay, we got to get things moving. 2 hours go by. I hear nothing from this company. I'm like, okay, what's going on, y'all? Because it's been 2 hours and I'm letting you guys know, hey, I need somebody here as soon as possible. I understand everybody's busy. I just want to know what's going on. So I call them. I say, hey, just checking in with you. Oh yeah, nope, you're on our list. Our technician here, you know, we'll get a hold of you as soon as possible once he's ready to come out. All right, thank you, Jessica. So I shout out to Jessica. I say, but I just want to know, I'm just letting you know, I have a special needs child in the house. As soon as you know if the tech is going to be a significant amount of time more than what you're expecting, please let me know this, because it's not about me. Please don't think that it's me trying to disparage your business. But right now, what's more important to me is getting heat than you just trying to make a buck. Okay? I don't say it like that. I say it a lot nicer. Jessica says, I understand. If something happens, I'll let you know. 2 more hours go by. It's a lot colder in the house now. The space heaters are doing what they can to keep up, but it's getting colder. Then I get a call from Jessica. I said, oh, hopefully that's the tech. No. Well, the tech's going to be a significant amount longer than what we thought. It might not even be till well into this evening. Oh, okay. Well, that's a huge problem. So I'm just going to call somebody else. Yep, absolutely. Well, just make sure to call us to let us know if you find someone else. I forgot to call them because right now what's priority is getting heat in my house. So I call another company up that I know has a good reputation. Call them. They say, hey, we think we can get somebody out there. We'll see what we can do. They call me back in 20 minutes. A tech is going to call you and hopefully come out. And fortunately, the tech happens to live right around the corner from my house. So guess what? He stopped right on by on his way home. And it was a tiny little part. During all of that happening, our boy X-Wing reaches out to me. And X-Wing is apparently very knowledgeable about how furnaces work. So he says, hey, take a picture of this for me. Let's look at it together. What have you done on it already? And I'll help you. So I tell him what I've done already. He goes, cool. Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this. And let's look at this. We look at those things. It's none of those things. I'm getting a little bit more frustrated at this point because it's getting colder. And the thing about kids is I love my children. Children don't really have any gears when it comes to understanding what situations are happening. So what kids do is go, I know that what's happening right now is something that I don't particularly like, which is getting cold. Now I tell them bundle up, put on blankets, things like that, put on socks. If it gets unbearable, I'll take you to your grandmother's so that you are warm. No, what kids like to do is go, man, it's really cold in here. I am aware. And then they go, man, Dad, it's pretty cold. Wonder when that furnace is going to start working. Well, son, I don't know. That's what I'm working on right now. Okay, yeah, Dad, totally get that, you know? Then your oldest walks by and goes, I'm pretty cold. I'm like, cool, well, maybe you should wrap up in a blanket. What that means is steal my shark onesie and put it on, which is fine. It's fine. I don't care about that. Anyways, so needless to say, about, 5 p.m., we finally got power back to the furnace. Everything's working. It was a tiny little part that needed to be fixed. It's good now. Everybody's warm. The house is warm again. We're all happy. Yay. But as that day goes on, I get progressively more stressed out because of it. And so, yeah, I was pretty stressed. So once the heat came back on and the house started warming up again, my body went, wow, you've been stressed all day. You know what you should do? Take a nap. And that's exactly what I did, leading to me starting a stream at 10 12:55 in the evening. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Stream's over. I'm just kidding. It's not over. I was just messing with you. The reality says the rate Republicans are going, they're guaranteed to lose the midterms. They're toast. Also heard Corey Lewandowski is allegedly having an affair with Kristi Noem. I barely know who any of those people are. And frankly, if, you know, after the way things are going in the United States, if you lose the midterms because of, at that point, it's your fault. You jerked around American citizens. You acted a damn fool. Here you are. Son of Sanguinus for 5 says, Jesse Ventura. I had a bucket of chicken in the Baja. They don't even pluck the feathers off when they cook them. But you wouldn't know that because of Tower 7. You wouldn't understand the implications of why in the continental United States they pluck their chickens. But they don't pluck them down here in the Baja. Because you probably didn't know this, but there's a lot of extra nutrients in the feathers of these birds. There's a lot of collagen and things like that that are good for your bone structure. And that's why I eat chickens with feathers on them. That's why I cook them with the feathers on them. It adds a nice little flavor. You see, that's how I know you've never been a Navy SEAL, because you've never eaten a chicken fully cooked from ass to beak. Thank you for the 5 Son of Sanguinus. Goodness gracious, what am I doing? You're never gonna get a G&G best of 2026 with that attitude, Mike. You know what? I'll likely never get a best of G&G ever for any year, despite having been here probably the longest, other than Ben and Josiah. But it's fine. Don't matter to me. I let the work speak for itself. Where do you put it at night to protect it? I can't tell you that. That's a trade secret. All right. So I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to catch up on super chats, and I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom and see see what's happening. Harbinger for 5 says, Meek Chura, there was never any real competition. They don't have a 5-speed wheelchair with faster stripes and a self-destruct button. That's wild. Thank you. Vatlaw for 2 says, Meek wears his sunglasses at night so he can hide the bags under his eyes from his benders. Scalpel for 2 says, Beardo is a joke thief and ruiner. Beardo fat. Well, that's very aggressive. Keys, member for 10 months. Shout out. Hello, Meek. Sorry for not being too active. Been watching, going through a low point, but wanted to say thanks for keeping the good energy. Well, Keys, man, I'm sorry to hear you going through a low point, bro. I appreciate you hanging out. I hope we could cheer you up. I hope that you, are not an avid hater of Jesse Ventura, because if you are, boy oh boy, the last 10 fucking minutes of this stream have probably been hell for you. But I very much appreciate you being a member. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Obviously, you never have to talk in chat, but if you let me know you're going through a low point, man, I pray things get better for you. Pray things turn around, and I appreciate you being here always. Ariel Kyver 2 says, hit and run gifty. Nighty night. Hey, well, thank you, Ariel. I appreciate that. Fruit of the Mystery for 5 says, on a serious note about Ventura, he was pretty on point with his conspiracy show and too on the nose, so they got to him, and now he's extra crazy. Listen, I'm not gonna joke. Like, on a serious note, yes, some of those guys that were really accurate about stuff got a little something put into their bodies when they weren't looking, and now they're crazy as hell. The only people that typically don't have that happen are the people that go on the run. Uber199 for 5 says, cold as fuck up here. It's probably way worse than the UP. I mean, tonight is supposed to get down to about -25, but I can't even imagine how bad it is the farther north you go. Farther north, the colder it gets. So that's why Canada is a hellscape. Escapo for 10 says, have you played Planescape Torment? I'm curious of your thoughts on the classic Forgotten Realms game like Baldur's, Neverwinter, Icewind. Definitely not stream friendly, but gets goated writing. I've never played Planescape Torment. As far as the classic Forgotten Realms things, I haven't played in a lot of those. I typically have most of my tabletop experience has been in homebrewed worlds. Now I did the on Geeks and Gamers tabletop, I did Rime of the Frost Maiden, and that's set in Icewind Dale. I mean, I know Baldur's Gate from the games, not just Baldur's Gate 3, but Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I know from there. I've only ever started a Neverwinter game. I've never actually played through the Neverwinter games. But what I know of the Forgotten Realms, they're pretty rad. A lot of work has gone into them, and arguably one of the best settings in D&D. So, shout out, thank you for the tennis, Capo. Andro CR for 10,000 CRC says, in Jesse Ventura voice, the cold weather doesn't affect me because I live in the Baja. And when it's cold, I warm myself and my 400 dogs by burning corn tortillas in the fireplace. You see, tortillas aren't just good for eating. They're also an excellent source of fuel for fires. One single corn tortilla can warm a family of 5 if you know how to burn them correctly. Also, I was the governor of Minnesota, so I know how to deal with the cold. In fact, a lot of people say, well, Jesse, how do you survive in the Baja when you're so well equipped for the cold? And I tell them, I was a Navy SEAL. I have the ability to slow or increase the speed of my blood flowing through my body, so I can be either like a bear and slow my heart rate so that I can survive the cold, or I can speed it up so that I can handle the heat. I don't even have sweat glands anymore. That's something you learn as a Navy SEAL, is how to turn off your sweat glands. You know what happens when you turn off your sweat glands? You become exceptionally good at handling any kind of temperature. Now, I wouldn't suggest anybody do it because most people aren't Navy SEALs, and if you're not trained, you could lead to severe harm to yourself or others by not having any sweat glands. But if you're like me and you were a Navy SEAL and a Marine and just a hot-blooded patriot as I am, then you understand exactly how to do it. I also, in the movie Kill Bill, a lot of people don't know this, but the character of Paimon was based on me. Did I say Paimon? I meant Paime. Well, it's all the same anyways. I've heard it both ways. Thank you for the correction, but I've heard it pronounced both ways. The Paime, he's based on me. The 5-point palm exploding heart technique. Who do you think they learned that from? I was a Navy SEAL. You have to know how to be able to make people's hearts explode on a moment's notice. And I happen to know that palm technique, and I taught it to Quentin Tarantino. Now, he can't do it because his wrists are far too weak to be able to make someone's heart explode. But I taught him how the moves are supposed to look, and then Uma Thurman, with her wonderfully endowed body, was able to make perfectly replicated in the film. Now, I told her, be careful, but then she told me, well, I'm acting opposite David Carradine. And a lot of people don't know that David Carradine, well, maybe not as much of a patriot as I am, really did know Kung Fu. And that's why they made him a show called Kung Fu. It was an actual documentary about his life. And he knew how to survive the exploding heart technique when she did it to him by moving the internal organs of his body so that he avoided the strike. A lot of people don't even know you can move your internal organs with a single thought because they're not Navy SEALs and they're not trained at the elite level that the SEALs are. But I'm a different breed. I'm the original kind of Navy SEAL. They don't really teach you these things anymore. I had to go I was in Vietnam, you see, and in Vietnam I climbed a mountain and found a medicine man there. And I said to him, because they all understand English, if I went up to him and I said, hey, I need you to teach me your secret techniques. And he said, well, I wouldn't normally teach them to anyone, but because your arms are so large and your body is so muscular, I think you have the ability, and because you're a Navy SEAL and a true patriot, I think you have the ability to withstand the training that I have to put you under to learn the secret techniques that I'm about to teach you. And he taught me many secret techniques that no one knows anymore. And I taught them to my Navy SEAL friends. And then when we tried to teach them to the younger generation, they weren't as appreciative. And then they didn't like corn tortillas or dogs either. And so frankly, I decided not to teach them my secret techniques. Mountain Mutt for 5 says, no one finds it humorous when there's an actual shark onesie to be stolen. That coincidence would never happen in any other household. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, my kid steals my shark onesie all the time. I actually went to go use it one time for a stream. I was like, where's my shark onesie? And yeah, she stole it and was sleeping in it. So, which brings us back to the hot drops. Oh, jeez. I'm so behind. Single Man Skid says, Mook, if it's any consolation, it's near freezing, 69 degrees here in Florida. So there's that. Banned. You're banned. Thank you, Single Man Skits. Fun fact, negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 40 degrees Celsius are the same temperature. That's awful. That sounds terrible. Frankly, anytime that Celsius and Fahrenheit are in agreement on anything, it's not a good time. Really, Movies, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? I miss G&G tabletop streams. I know a lot of people do, Dingus. I know a lot of people do. Neverwinter Nights, the Underdark expansion was amazing. See, I probably should just go back and play those at some point. Remember the Icewind G&G streams with Arcada? Great games, though. I think you'd appreciate the depth of writing. Yeah, I might. So, oh my God, chat, stop asking them. That's never going to happen. They're going to keep asking me about these things. I ain't got time to freeze. What's up, Mo Zamboni? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. I gotta catch up. Like 40 minutes behind on chat at this moment. Yeah, we're deep into it. Hunter says, fun fact, bears don't poop while hibernating. They get super constipated for the sleep. A fecal shell forms. I didn't know the word fecal shell existed, and now today I know that. Thank you for teaching us a new word.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Fecal shell. Yuck. Single Man Skid says, Mike, your thoughts on Art Bell and the Jews? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks. It's wild. That's pretty good. See here, you never you've never oh man. You come on. You've never had you guys are out of control. You've never had vigorous intercourse with multiple men at one time. That's how I know you were never a Navy SEAL. That's fucking wild. I know I miss Wicked. I didn't say hi to Wicked. I did say hi to Wicked, but like I never saw her in chat. I feel terrible about that. That makes me very sad. I'm sorry, Wicked. If you're even still around, which I know she's not. Closing sweat gain and it's liver damage. That's wild. Did Hesse Ventura explain Yugoslavian socialism and its impact on the Alaskan Inuits? That's wild. We don't want to get that deep into the weeds. Jeez, you guys are out of control. What if Mike does his voice so much that it becomes his natural voice? So if I'm not careful, if I do a voice for too long, I will start to pick up that like affect in my voice. It takes a little bit, and it can be difficult to get rid of. So Turd, what did you, by the way, half of your stuff disappeared. Turd, what did you say about making thumbnails going forward? Just DM me about it. All right, we'll talk about it. Starting to think that Mike had a stroke, not a nap. I might have. Why is Turd making up random names in chat? What are we doing? All right, I'm going back through. Fecal shell is more than a vibe, it's a tribe. That's gross, dude. Fecal shell sounds awful. Mosey Money says, I lived in northern Indiana for most of my life. I have lived through the worst winters you could possibly imagine. Yeah, they're specifically bad for Indiana because not only is Indiana just not a good place to live, but God also particularly doesn't like Indiana. So it's kind of the whole thing. Andre CR for 10,000 CRC says, dude, I'm having a hard time getting through these. It's been a long intro. Technically, we're still in the intro of the stream, yeah. I learned to keep myself warm by putting corn. God, what have I done? By putting corn tortillas on my skin. Tortillas have insulating properties used by Navy SEALs. Using ancient techniques from elders in Nam, I also learned to make underwear out of tortillas. I gotta stop, dude. I'm gonna get in trouble. Mike, if you find some time, watch the Gronking intro for Monday's show. It was legendary. I will check it out. Shout out Sandro Franca. Good to see you, man. Chat was moving kind of fast earlier, but it started to slow down a bit. Oh, I hope I didn't jinx it. You're fine, dude. I couldn't keep up. I have chat here and I can't even keep up with it, like, at all. Like, I'm so far behind. I feel terrible. What else you want me to do? I was just wondering if you want to make more thumbnails. I think you did a good job. Also, totally on board for working on something thumbnails. Yeah. If you want to make more thumbnails, man. And thank you, Andre CR. I appreciate you, man. I went to Indiana once as a baby. I've been through there once and I'll never do it again. Mike, turn up your volume. Hold on, let me bring myself closer. Hold on. Hey, what's up, Tree Bear? How you doing, man? Good to see you in chat. Yeah, we're just hanging, dude. We're just chilling tonight, you know? He's broken. You guys are killing me, dude. Yeah, we're just chilling. Like, I didn't have any expectations on this stream. I turned it on because I needed to ramble because I'm tired and, you know, and maybe a little delusional. So Dark Red Knight for 2 says, Baja Tax. Thank you. That voice is hard to, it's not hard to maintain, but like, it's hard to like not stay there. More viewers than Beardo. That's wild. I don't care about viewers. I care about you guys. I'm so behind on chat. Proceed to do 10 more Jesse Ventura impressions. At one point, I was straight up just like, dude, like, I'm like literally legitimately just thinking, why am I still fucking rambling right now? Like, I literally just said I was going to catch up on chat and I'm still rambling. Volume tax. Thank you, Lost Haven. Irish Rips and Arm Drags. Hey, what's up? How you doing, buddy? For 5 says, I just did a podcast with a writer at Juggalo Championship Wrestling who knows Vince Russo, and he might be able to get Vince Russo on my podcast. Yo, that is awesome, dude. Listen. That's fucking rad, dude. I am super happy for you. I hope he can get Vince Russo on there. That would be huge, man. Congrats, bro. Keep killing it. Love it when people just kill it like that. Also, Epic Mike, did you see Space Marine 2 is dropping on Game Pass in 6 days? A lot of new bloods and about to be entering the 40K universe. Yeah, I did not know that it was coming to Game Pass. That's pretty wild. I want to be excited about it, but 40K is in a weird spot. I mean, as far as, you know, a lot of new people coming in, and that's good. A lot of people that aren't interested in actually playing 40K, not good. If the, you know, primary center of your universe is a hobby, and you bring in a lot of new people, sure, those can translate to new sales. But more than likely, what you'll do is you'll get a bunch of people that like the universe but don't really care about the actual game itself, and the game itself will suffer if the people at 40K are not aware that at the core of their fandom is the people that play and buy 40K. That's what matters most. A lot of companies, the problem that happens and the reason they struggle or they fail or they get into the weeds on and stuff is because they get so focused on bringing in these new fans and catering to this new fan base and trying to bring them in and get them to buy stuff and do all this stuff that they forget about their core customer base, the ones that are buying, the ones that are spending the most money and that are supporting them. And if you don't cater to your core fan base, you will lose your business, because the people that are coming in that are new don't really care that much. You know, it's cool that they want to get into multimedia. It's cool that they want to do shorts and they want to do animation and they want to do a live action show with Henry Cavill. All of those things are wonderful, but those things should be enriching the product for the customer base that they have now. And then secondarily, should also try to bring in new customers. Should not be the primary goal. And a lot of people, I feel like, miss that when it comes to business. Like, you can't cater to new fans over your existing fan base. That existing fan base are the people that built that company and built you and got you where you are. And so any expansion beyond that secondary goal can be, let's reach out to the fans. The primary goal needs to be, how can we enrich this for our audience, our primary audience? So yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be a weird spot for 40K, and I really do think it's one of the last bastions of nerddom. Jason Gala here says, "Hey Mike, stay warm and safe." Thank you. We are very warm. Turd says, "Can I DM you a meme video to watch?" You can DM me anything, Turd. Whether I watch it or not is always on the fence. I'll check it out though. You did send me a good video last time, so I'm learning to trust you a little bit. Remember, even if you're watching the stream, you have to pay the tax. There's no tax. I once drove through Indiana for 30 minutes. My car still has sickle cell. That's wild, dude. I never experienced a Stark level winter, but I've experienced wild rainstorms where the wind would throw the dumpster across parking lots. That's insane. Yeah, we get some bad rainstorms here and stuff occasionally, but the snow, dude, it's been a really mild winter. And I was telling somebody the other day about that. I was like, you know what? Whenever we have a real mild, I think I was telling my olds about this. I was like, the winter's typically mild. Typically when it's not as bad in the beginning, it gets real bad at the end. It's like a real nasty, like, make up for lost time kind of experience. And that's kind of what is happening here. Yeah, the snow has been terrible. So, what's up, King Deplorables? Hope you and the family are well. We are doing well, thank you. Kamikaze OG says, "Can you imagine Jesse Ventura dirty talk?" That's wild. I don't want to imagine that. I don't want to imagine Jesse Ventura. You guys got to stop with the Jesse Ventura stuff, dude. That's wild. Do you like that? Do you like when I I'm gonna gotta stop, dude. I'm gonna treat you like Tower 7. I'm gonna take you down from the bottom up because they put explosive charges in the basement of Tower 7.
That's why it collapsed. And so there's a parallel to what's about to happen here, in that I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up, and you're going to collapse at the end. Dude, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I saying? Who says these things? You need to do watch-alongs of classic wrestling, aka Attitude Era, actual wrestling clips, or whole events suffice. I would like to do that, but the thing is, WWE is extremely litigious, and they're really stingy about copyright. If showing like even a small clip of something on this channel will get claimed immediately. Now I won't get a strike, but I will get claimed. So trying to watch them somewhere, it can be kind of tough. I think we even ran into that a little bit with locals when we were watching wrestling streams. We started having trouble with some copyright issues with locals as well. Like, so it's hard, like, to do that. There'd have to be some way. There's ways to do it and ways to approach it, but it's tough. You know, I don't know, but I would love to do some of those things. But yeah, the copyright issue is tough. So, Frank says, no, throw 40K in the trash at this point, but I still have my army I have to build. I don't want to throw it away yet. But yes, it's in a weird spot though, for sure. Bohica for 109 says, what chin strap do you use for that afro? It's all natural, brother. It's all natural. It's me coming out of my head. Okay. It's coming out of my head. Them call me Bushmaster. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Hey, what's up, Decrepit? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing good. We're making it work. Single Man Skid says, did you hear Kurt Angle say that one night Rikishi didn't wipe his ass for shitting, then gave Angle the stink face in a match, got shit on his face? Dude, that's crazy. I would have been so mad at Rikishi. I would have beat the shit out of that guy. That's gross. They were absolute carny degens. That's a good word for it. And now Rikishi, every fucking month, you know, is on some podcast complaining about his son Jey Uso not getting a push. Jey Uso is one of the worst wrestlers I have seen in the last like 30 years. And we've seen some real stinkers. I think Jey Uso is the worst of them. I like, you know what? I like that Jey Uso found a gimmick. I like that he's selling shirts. Do your thing, man. Get that bag. But thinking that selling shirts somehow translates to getting a push, when you got guys like LA Knight out there that deserve an actual push, and he's losing and getting less of a push than Jey Uso, who literally just says yeet, gets gassed during his fucking intro, and can't wrestle for 5 minutes. Nah, fuck that nonsense. I think some people want to run it into the ground rather than give it back to the fandoms. You're absolutely correct. Salt the earth. You know, when ideology and messaging, and this is for either side. This is not just for liberals and leftists. This is for either side. When ideology and messaging become more important than the expression of art, they would rather destroy it all than allow anyone to have access to it and push something that they don't want them to push. Push a message, or potentially expose them and expose their flawed ideologies for what they are. Art is dangerous, man. You could disseminate a lot of information to people and a lot of ideas to people through art. It's why in like the movie Inception, they're like, yeah, you with the dreams, you have to like kind of go into the dreams. You have to be theatrical about the dreams, because in a way it's not a one for one, but it's a very similar concept. You know, the ideas are very powerful, very dangerous, and it has to feel like it came from you. You know, implanting an idea in somebody's brain or whatever, like convincing somebody to do something. Well, ultimately, people are going to do what they want to do. So the conversation has to be, how can I convince this person that what I want them to do is the thing that they want to do themselves? So, word of mouth is the best advertisement you can get. Absolutely true. That is the new currency of the realm, is word of mouth. Still no news on Amazon Cavill 40K. It's vaporware at this point. It's not vaporware. There's like little updates here and there about it, but you know, Cavill's got to finish Highlander before he does 40K. I mean, we know that they finally signed a deal at the end of last year. Yeah, right now, what is it? Because they well, not last year, the year before last. They signed their final agreement on December 2024. But they've got to figure out what the story's going to be. They got to get a roadmap for how things are going to go. But yeah, they have not started production yet, but they're probably in early production right now. So, yeah, my guess is they're going to take a lot of their time first and jump into things. It's kind of just probably be like an all-in thing once things finally happen. I don't think it's vaporware. I just think that they're taking their time. It's a lot to undertake, and if you don't get it right, you probably won't get another shot at it. So, okay, Turd, this is a good one. I'll share this in a second. Turd, this is a good one. And thank you, Turd, once again, for people that are new here. We are now affiliates with the Rippaverse. I am an official affiliate of the Rippaverse. So if you want to get yourself some good merch, some quality comic books, get in where you fit in. There's a lot of cool stuff there on Rippaverse.com. You know, there's individual covers, individual projects. Like you can go and get Ice of #1 and Ice of #2, but they also have an omnibus now. They've got an omnibus. So if you want to catch up on everything that's been going on, you can go get the omnibus. I know that that's a big thing. Right now they have collections. Ripazine #6 is going on. So that campaign is going on right now. You can get Ripazine #6. Also, Dirty Deeds #1 has 1 week left. All right? Listen, I am going to shill the hell out of this right now because we got 1 week left on this. I'm going to pull it up here. Let me pull it up real quick. All right? This is from our wonderful friend, Caro. Okay? She wrote this. The first look we got at these guys was in Ripazine #5. But Dirty Deeds, brand new original characters, gorgeous artwork, fun story. All right? Our boy Leylines, for people that watch Tabletop, our boy Leylines, he did a song for this, did a theme for it. 1 week left. 1 week left of this campaign. Get yourself yourself some Dirty Deeds. Get in on the Dirty Deeds, all right? There's a bunch of different covers. Also, I got to show you the one cover. Okay? Let me show you this cover real quick. Where is it? I got to show you guys this one cover. Here, we'll just look at this one. We'll just pull this up. Check out this cover, bro. Look at that. That's all. And if you use code EPICMIC, you get a nice little discount. Link is on my in the description below, so you can go check it out. I'll eventually have like more like tags and stuff like that as well, so you guys can like see it. But this is early; it just happened. So, Mike, how's the Viking movie coming along? The Viking movie is almost completely done. We're working on, I think, sound is the last little thing that's getting done and edited. So like the Viking movie will probably be done early this year. We're just in post-production on another project right now, the one that I directed, Reflection. We're still in post-production on that. A lot of little things that have to get done. It's just taking a while. You know, it's expensive, it's time consuming, and some of the stuff that has to be done are things that I have no control over other than to just give it to somebody for it to get done. And then some of the things I have control over require other things to be done first to get other things moving forward. So it's just taking a while. And I appreciate you guys' patience, which is why we don't ask for money from you guys for Epicverse stuff. Because if you want to support us, awesome. But I'm not going to ask you. We haven't asked you guys, and we're not trying to ask you guys to support a project that isn't done. We want to get it done and give it to you first. So the Bastion is already broken. I think in some ways. I also think it's salvageable still. Did you see the Knight's Path game upsetting all the... Yeah, I did. I did see that. You know, it's funny. I think we should support games that we feel like know what's important about gaming and actually are focused on it. I checked out Knight's Path. I think it looks like an interesting game. I like the concept of it. I like that it's got some fantasy stuff. Is it going to be a really good quality game? I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be an okay, very short concept of a game. And maybe they make a ton of money selling it, and then they are able to make a better game from there, which is also really cool. The thing I like about it is that when people come in and try to make a big deal about stuff and try to say, well, what are you going to do about representation, or what are you going to do about check boxes and things like that? They're just like, we're not focused on that. We're just focused on making a good game. That should not be a controversial statement. They're not actively mocking people and trying to cause problems. They're just like, bro, we're just trying to make our game. Why don't you just leave us alone and let us make our game? You know? And then that exposes people that go, well, nope, you gotta do it this way, because if you don't do it this way, then I'm not happy. And you know what? Those people deserve to be exposed. Completely showing their ass. So, yep, don't show your ass. Are you going to talk about Spider-Man, Tobey, and Doomsday? What about it? I don't know what's been disclosed and what hasn't been disclosed about that. So I don't want to get anybody in trouble for talking about something that I know that was told to me behind the scenes, but wasn't told to me publicly. So why don't you drop what you know about it real quick, Jose, and then I'll address what I can about it. So, but Mike, now we have female custodes that apparently were there the entire time. They're so focused on the female part, they're going to pull the trigger on the weapon model. Put the trigger on the weapon model. They have a very vocal fan base. And that fan base, I think, will cook them. And if they want to keep making money, they need to listen to their fan base. Do you want mine corn wrapped? That's crazy, dude. Do not do it. I did it. Demonetization incoming? I'm not gonna get demonetized for that. I've said a lot worse when I got demonetized. I'll be all right. We gotta do watch parties. Got to be on Discord or locals. Yeah. I mean that's really what it comes down to. But even with Discord, you got to be careful with Discord about that stuff too. So. Goodness gracious. Glenathan for 5. Do you like it when I spread your tortilla? God, dude. Oh no. Thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. Hi, Miss Brenda. Meeky needs food or sleep or both. I do kind of want food. Man, that sounds really good right now. Yeah. I gotta be careful. I'm on a diet, so I'm like really restrictive on what I can or can't eat. You know what what would be delicious is like a Popeye's grilled chicken sandwich. You know? Like just grilled chicken. Like with Popeye's like sauce on it. But even that I think has a lot of carbs and stuff in it. Everything has carbs and sugar in it. It sucks. So where Meeky talks now, I can hear a little bit of Jesse in there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I've completely screwed myself over with this impression. Speaking of wrestling, the guys at Wrestling Related aired another one of my quizzes today. Masked wrestlers turned into Power Rangers. That's awesome, Darth Bane. I love it, dude. That's rad. Rikishi wasn't that good. Yeah, he was okay. I mean, listen, he was athletic for a big guy like that, but so was Umaga. And I think Umaga was far more entertaining and far more useful than Rikishi ever was. So, LA Knight better win Money in the Bank this year. It's possible. It's very possible he does. Do you think they'll give AJ Styles a proper send-off? Yes, I do. I do not think he's going to lose to Gunther. And I do not think that is how he's going to retire. I think AJ probably is going to do something big at WrestleMania, and I think AJ is going to retire. I don't quote me on this, but I would not be surprised if AJ retires at WrestleMania. Does a big match, big dream match with somebody that we don't know or weren't expecting. And it does a banger match and goes out that way. Too many people's kids in WWE now thinking they are a dynasty when they suck. That's very true. Hey Keenan, good to see you, man. And hi Makara. He's still filming Voltron, right? He's filming, I think he's doing both. I think he's filming Voltron and he's filming Highlander. So yeah, probably won't see that for at least 3 years. Yeah. We won't see much of any kind of movement on that for a few more years. On the 40K live action stuff. Without a Queen soundtrack, I don't think Highlander works. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Really depends on who they get to do the music, though. That's a good point. Congrats, Mike. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Rip attacks, that's wild. Jeremy Springer for $1. Hey, shout out Jeremy Springer. Appreciate you, man. Good show. Damn good show. Wait, you're not Ripa? Never was. Said I always has been. What's up, B-Man? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Everyone go check out Makara's drawing, but buyer beware that feral alligator had enough cake for 6 Christmas dinners. Well, there you go. Epic shill. That's crazy work. Also, Mike, I've been watching for Warhammer 40K lore videos on YouTube by a guy named Crack Duck. His Grey Knight video was funny. Crack Duck. Crack Duke. Crack Duke. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to check this out. Here, I'll save one of his videos here so I can watch it later. Speaking of video games, I gotta praise this, okay? I gotta go off about this for a second. I already talked about it a little bit. I finally finished the main game in Witcher 3. I played The Witcher 3 back in 2020 for the first time. I had never gotten to it to play it. I finally got around to it in 2020. I played the whole thing with no DLC. There's no DLC on it. And I played the whole game. I loved it. I got the Ciri becomes Empress ending. And I really loved the game. And then I bought the Game of the Year edition so that I could play the DLC. And the Game of the Year edition was not the same game as the original version I bought or was playing. Yeah, the original version I played. Because I was playing on a Game Pass, I think. I don't remember. It was some kind of thing like that, where I bought the Game of the Year edition because it was on sale and I thought I was getting the DLC. The two games were not compatible. So I had to start over from the very beginning and play it all the way through again. And I said, fuck that. I don't have the time for that. I put 200 plus hours into this game. I do not have time to replay this game again right now. And I walked away from it and said, one day I'll get to the DLC. And I just had not gotten around to it till the other day. And I was like, you know what? I got to play The Witcher. I really want to get through this. So I replayed it again. I was like, it's been enough time that I don't remember everything. I played the main campaign, and this time Ciri became a Witcher at the end, which I think is considered like the best ending, which I think is a good ending. It's not as good as her becoming Empress because it's not as bittersweet, but it's still a decent ending. I did the Hearts of Stone during the main campaign. Hearts of Stone is a rad DLC. Gaunter O'Dim is one of the coolest and most interesting bad guys in just about any work of fiction. I think what he represents and how he is and how he's portrayed in that little DLC, that stint of DLC, is awesome, makes a lasting impact, and would be a character that I would want to see in other projects. Yeah, but I have started the Blood and Wine DLC, and I absolutely love it. And I was going to pull this up. Because this isn't spoiling anything, but I just wanted to do this little section here because one of the things I really, really, really enjoy about the Blood and Wine DLC already is how much it feels like a return to, Like The Witcher is already high fantasy and there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but it felt so distinctly different from like the dark, murky, depressing world that The Witcher is set in, and kind of like added this like flair of the dramatic and stuff, which feels kind of appropriate for the setting and like where everything is going. So I was going to pull this up because like this is like the very opening when you get to the first area in The Witcher, and I absolutely loved it. And I was like, dude, this is how shit should be. Like this is what gaming is. This is what makes gaming good. So let me pull this up real quick. I want to go to where it is. Here's the first time you go to Tucson. There it is. I shouldn't get in any trouble for playing this. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I'm gonna play this because this is awesome. Am I gonna die? When are we getting Cake Stream 2.0? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Okay, there we go. So these knights errant come to you already when you first meet these guys. I love their armor. It's like gold and flashy, and they have feathers and stuff versus like the dark Nilfgaardian armor and all the other. Everything's so dark and like kind of depressing in the Witcher world, but that fits for that setting. I mean, everything kind of has like an aged out, like ancient, broken vibe to everything. But dude, hold on. No, Larima says, I was enjoying The Witcher 3, but I don't know combat and I don't know how to heal. I'm too lazy to look it up. I feel like the game should have explained it better. The game has a little bit of a learning curve to it. It really does. Once you get used to it, I really like it. I actually really like the changes they did to it. I like the quick access for your signs. I started training myself to use that instead of going to the signs the other way. I like The Witcher's combat. I really, really, really do. Oh, Amazon finished production on Voltron in May 2025. 2026 release date expected exclusively on Prime Video. Oh, nice. I prefer Heart of Stone. Some Blood and Wine missions are a little too corny. I kind of like the corniness. So this is the first time. This is the Duchy of Toussaint, but I love it's brighter. It's obviously like greener, a lot more sun.
Exactly how I remembered it.
But one of the things I loved about this,
You will find Beauclair has changed some.
this feels very like, I don't know, it just feels like, it feels like the difference between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Lord of the Rings is very heavy, and like there's moments of levity and there's sure moments of like enjoyment and things like that in there, but it's a heavy story. There's a lot going on and there's a lot of like dark and sad and depressing, whereas like Hobbit's very much like a lot lighter and a lot more like airy and a little bit corny and cheesy at times.
Past years.
Walk about when you have the chance. You will see for yourself.
To me, place always seemed straight out of a fairy tale. Knights errant, elven palaces.
You insinuate that we are somehow odd? I shall prove you wrong. This I pledge on the Heron.
I just loved Autumn, like right away, just the different attitude, dude. It's, yeah. But this was my favorite part. So like, I'm not going to spoil what's happening here fully. I'll show you what's kind of going on with this monster here. And I won't get into anything more because you should just play it yourself. But what I love is the fact that the very first thing that you run into when you enter Tucson, when they're talking about it being like a fairy tale and something out of a fairy tale and all this stuff, is that you run into a knight charging at a windmill. For people that don't know this, like I'm sure most of you guys already do know, Frank says Witcher's a top 5 game for me. It's up there as one of my favorite games of all time now, dude. Makes me want to mod and play Witcher 3 again. Hell yeah, dude. I love it. So if you haven't read or you don't know the story of Don Quixote, Don Quixote is about a guy who meets Sancho. Wow, is his name Sancho Panza? Anyways, this guy who is just I think he's a writer or whatever. He meets a guy named Don Quixote who believes he is a knight, and he used to be a knight, and he's kind of lost his mind and gone crazy. And one of the things like in the story is he sees these windmills. He thinks they're giants and wants to fight the windmills or whatever and stuff. And I love that the very first thing that you see when entering this new world, this new story, is you see a knight charging at a windmill. And the joke is, like Don Quixote, he thinks the windmill's a monster that he has to fight. And then an actual monster comes busting out of the windmill, dude. I was like, holy shit, that is rad. Like Sancho Panza, thank you. Yeah. I don't know why, but that kind of writing and that kind of clever, like that to me is actually subverting expectations in like a healthy way. Instead of shitting on something that other people did or shitting on something that people have done and calling it a subversion of expectations, it's no, here's a thing and here's what you would expect to happen here is this knight fighting a windmill because there's no real monsters here. And they're like, no, this is a world with real monsters. And so a monster actually is inside the windmill. I love that. It made me fall in love with that DLC immediately. Oh yeah, and then yeah, the DLC joke in the river is pretty rad too, dude. So Jack Richardson says Witcher seems like a great game. I've tried starting it 4 times and got motion sickness from the camera swinging around due to the lock on. Okay, so there's definitely a way now. This game is the Witcher, like the next gen edition especially, has a lot of customization options. There's a lot of quality of life improvements. One of the things you could try to do, Jack Richardson, I'm not saying force it and force yourself to play it. It's a great game and I think you should play it. I think a lot of people should play The Witcher. Be warned, there's a lot of nudity and a lot of violence. A lot of boobies, a lot of violence. But one of the things I love is the customization options. You can turn off motion blur now. You can change the way the camera reacts and works to things. You can make it either closer to Geralt or farther away so that there's not as much camera movement and things like that. There's a lot of quality of life to the combat and how the combat works, how Geralt moves. You can change how his body moves and how he responds to your controls. If you played The Witcher 3 when it first came out and didn't like it, going back now to the next gen edition. Also, if you are somebody that is comfortable doing mods, there's a lot of quality of life mods that can change the way that game plays. I played it through in just vanilla as it is without any mods. And I know that if I had added mods, I would have had even better time than I did. But yeah, I think The Witcher 3 is one of the best games ever made. For sure. So, Heart of Stone has Shani, so it wins by default. Listen, Heart of Stone is good. Heart of Stone is very, very good. It has a great ending, but I already have a feeling I'm gonna love everything about Blood and Wine. I just got to the tournament section, but yeah, dude. I saw people talking about KOTOR. Oh, is what's his name still playing KOTOR? Hey, what's up, old Renaissance Boomer? Good to see you, man. Thank you for dropping a like. Thank you for dropping by to say hi. If you haven't already, please like the stream. It always helps me, makes me look cool to YouTube. Gonna run over to Beardo's chat before back over to Camman stream, though might have to join Meekiverse for a Fortnite match. No worries, man. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi, man. Thanks a lot. I do deeply appreciate that. So KOTOR, which I need to get back because I think I'm near the getting off this planet part. Dude, you definitely need to get back to it. Witcher as a series is on a big list, one on my list. I started playing OG Castlevania a week ago. OG Castlevania is legit, dude. Turd, I think you'll love The Witcher. They have, especially like the opening tutorial of The Witcher and the first area you're in really gives you a sense of like how big the game is, because it's such a big area of a game that you only visit for a short amount of time, and then the rest of the world kind of opens up. And even though like the main central locations will seem small at first, the game is huge. It is a massive game, and feels massive, but also very enjoyable. I really like it. I know some people think it gets repetitive. I don't think The Witcher gets particularly repetitive unless you want it to. And like I said, mods will make a huge difference on how you approach things in the game if you want to use them. But the vanilla game as is, I really enjoy it. I really don't have any complaints. And I pretty much 100%ed everything in the game. Also, Gwent is amazing, and I'm addicted to it. And I get mad in the game when I can't continue to play, like, I need harder opponents to play Gwent against, so. Oh, Bastila is that planet's midpoint. Terrace is a bit long. Oh, yeah, you're on Terrace. Terrace takes a long time. Do I have to play Arkham Asylum before this? No. You don't even have to play the first two Witcher games, although they do all tie into each other. But The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2, very different games than The Witcher 3, and the combat is not as refined, and a lot of the graphics don't look as good. I know they're doing a remake right now, but like, yeah, the game has aged. Those games have aged, whereas I think The Witcher 3 has aged extremely well, even in the graphics department. So, those Knights armor in particular are NPC specific, but you can get them with mods. Dude, it's great. It looks so good. What is your code for Ripiverse? My code for Ripiverse is Epic Mike. I might change it in the future. Maybe we'll do Meek or something other clever than that. But right now it's Epic Mike, just so that people can get on board with it. So I want to see Kaer Morhen when it was thriving and alive, not as the ruins we see in the game. I agree. I would love that too. All right, real quick. I also got to pull this up. This was sent to me by Turd Ferguson. You know him, you love him. He sent me a video and we got to watch it. So if you haven't seen this is actually pretty funny and you'll appreciate this.
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage. You better come down here, get some of this shit. You like to eat. America loves to eat. So why not open up somewhere America can sit down, enjoy a meal, and get their feet rubbed? We'll fry anything you want for $5.99. As long as it's friable or edible, we're gonna make it deliciousable. We will fry parts of the chicken you didn't even know was friable. The beak, the feathers, we'll fry candy bars. All that European stuff that you don't really normally eat, we'll bring it down here and fry it for you. Ask McDonald's to fry something other than what they normally fry. Guess what you're gonna get? Nothing. If it fit through the dough, I'll put it in the fryer. Hell, this is a dinosaur. All our meats are gently tenderized to their optimum deliciousness. We got fine dinosaur meats. Took my money, made me pay child support. Come on down here and get you a slice. Once they get your social security number, it's over. Motivated, 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 motivated. So friends, let's just decide you don't want no barbecue.
Jones, how fat is
well, that's fine too. Why not let one of my foot specialists or myself perform our magic? Look at that, don't they look wonderful? If you really pay me enough, we'll massage your feet in any of these sauces also. Success is the rule down here at Jones. Good ass barbecue and foot massage. So go ahead and give me a call or find us on the worldwide internets at the new website. That's JONES big ass truck rental and storage.com / Jones good ass barbecue and foot massage.html.
Excuse me, did you call number 52?
Did you hear me call number 52?
This shit's hilarious. Thank you, Turd. That was a good one. That was a good one. I was worried because Turd's like, can I send you a video? And I was like, I mean, like, yeah, Turd, but if it's not good, I'm not going to play it. And then it was good. I trust Turd now a little bit more. A little bit more trust has been earned until he finally rips the rug out from under me and destroys me. And I don't know when that's going to happen. Was that you in that dinosaur suit, Mike? I mean, listen, maybe. Anything that's friable, we'll put it in there. That French stuff you ain't ever want to try, we'll fry it up for you. That's pretty good, man. Oh boy. All right, let me see here. Let me make sure I'm caught up in chat. There's no tax. I just started KOTOR 2, but I got stuck in a glitch and have to restart the game. Oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. I love KOTOR 2. Are you playing it on a console or are you playing it on or are you playing it on PC? If you're playing it on PC, it's a very easy mod to get a hold of, the restored content mod. I don't like everything in the restored content mod because I think some of the stuff is very obviously not finished. Like there's a droid planet in the game that you can go to that's very obviously not finished, but they did a pretty decent job of it. There's also another planet that's really, really not finished. It's kind of it feels like a little bit of a waste of time to go to, but the restored content mod also fixes a lot of glitches and adds cutscenes and stuff. I like the restored content mod a lot. So Mike doesn't say hi to me and he wonders why I dislike his reviews. Hi Brimstone, good to see you. Stop disliking my reviews. Escapo says Witcher 2 better than 3 on Die in This Hill. I don't believe that that's the case, but maybe. Yes, Hunter, Kotorto is kind of glitchy. Make a lot of extra save slots and keep that hand torch you get in the first 5 minutes. Yes. You guys want to know something? I don't know how everybody does it. Everybody has a different way of like saving in games. My go-to with games is if I reach a crossroads, I make a exclusive save, like if it's a really important decision. But typically, I always have 3 rotating saves. So I'll save the game, then I'll do a second backup save, and then my third save will usually be from a previous game. So then the next time I play a game, or like the next time I play the game, when I go to save, I will save over one of the previous 2 save files. And then I typically will make another backup save. So like I always have 2 backup saves of where I last was, and then a screenshot from my last save that sits there that'll eventually be overridden. But I have like 3 like rotating saves that are constantly like going that way. That way I never run into a situation where I don't have like the ability to go back to where I wanted to before. And then like critical moments or crossroads, like, oh, I fought a big boss or whatever, I will make individual saves that I do not save over. That way I always have those points of the game where I can go back to if I really need to. So home house horse love makes love. That's wild. At most the game only references the older games. Yeah. Yep. It's up there, probably gonna be a while. I bought the Castlevania Deluxe Collection where it's every major Castlevania except Symphony of the Night, the OG version of Rondo of Blood. Okay. Symphony of the Night is considered one of the best games of all time, and I know friends that absolutely love that game and swear on it. So Meek and the Witcher games, they have full Witcher schools all because of one line in the first books, and schools are never mentioned again in the books. And the latest books made it clear there aren't Witcher schools. Really? That's weird. I didn't know that. See, it's funny because I do know that there's the books, and the books canon is what it is, and the games are technically a sequel to the books in a way or whatever. It's interesting that he's just kind of like the writer will write his own thing, and it can like contradict the games and stuff. But I didn't know there weren't Witcher schools. That's interesting. Lord Boltha for 10 says, Mike, you ever play the Sherlock Holmes games? Fun mystery solving and puzzle games, and some of them have Lovecraftian elements. I'm playing Seth streaming one of them right now. Been a good time. I have not. I've heard they're good. I do like mystery games and puzzle games. Those can be really fun. And I'm a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes as a character, so I'll have to check them out. One game I know I'm going to play soon, just because it's relevant to do so, and I kind of got the itch to do it. At some point in time in the very near future, I'm going to go back through and play Fable. At least Fable 1. I don't know if I'm going to play... I don't know if I'm going to play Fable 2 on stream, but I'll definitely play Fable 1 on stream. I love the old video of the Amazing Racer with the watermelon slingshot that backfires. That's a good one, too. Sorry, I'm looking something up real quick. I had the time of my life, and I've never felt this way before. I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you. What is the intro to Gronkin? Which one you said on Monday? Hold on, let me see here. Is this it? Is this it? Hold on, let me see if this is it. I will check this out in my next stream. I'm gonna pull this up. I gotta make sure this is the right one. I do love the Gronka guys though. Shout out to them. Shout out to Lethal Lightning and I guess kind of Tamaza a little bit. Mike, you ever watched the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes movies? I've seen the Hounds of the Baskervilles, I believe. The Warm and Cozy and free on YouTube. Nice. Yeah, I think I've seen the Hounds of the Baskerville, one of his. If I'm wrong, you can ban Mazza. I'm not gonna ban Mazza. I will watch it on my next stream, Sandro. I'll save it up. I got it saved now, so just remind me on the next stream because I do have it saved. I'll pull it up. JW, member for 1 month, says fried Meek bunions. Yuck. Mike has to have feet to have Mike has to have feet to have bunions. I do rotating saves too. Yeah, it's the only way I do them. So there's a glitch in KOTOR with doors. You can't open some. You won't be able to if you hit attack. Torch has a 90% hit rate on doors. Yes, it does. Yeah. 3. I'll do 20 rotating saves. I only do 3 so I don't get confused, and then I just have, you know, the save the interesting point saves. KOTOR is very glitchy on PC for me. Anyways, was flawless on Xbox. Really? I actually had less problems with it on PC, but I also downloaded the restore content mod right away as soon as I have it. I own KOTOR 1 and 2 on my phone. I own it on my Xbox. I owned it on my original Xbox. I owned I don't know where my original copy of KOTOR is, but I own a physical copy of KOTOR 2. Then I bought it on Steam, and then I also own it, I think, through Amazon. Their like gaming service. Yeah, I love it. It's 2 of my favorite games ever. So I did that because of saves back in the day and memory card days. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Let's see here. PS4 collection of both Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood for 20. I think I'll wait till I've played a few more of the games first before I buy them, though. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. If you're doing Fable 1 stream, make sure it's the Lost Chapters. Yeah, it is. It's the Lost Chapters edition. Well, it's the Anniversary edition. Fable Anniversary, which has the Lost Chapters in it. And it's not a remake, but it's a remaster of the original. So, and they actually look pretty good. It doesn't look perfect, but it looks pretty good. Sissy, have a good night. Appreciate you, Sissy. Much love to you. Hope you and little man are doing well. Stay warm. Fable 2 is the best. I like Fable 2. I like Fable 1 more because Fable 1 feels more pure to like the fantasy vibe that they're going for. I do like Fable 2. My biggest gripe with Fable 2 is the DLC situation was a mess, where they gave like part of the DLC away for free, and then the other part of it was not free, and all this stuff. The DLC stuff for Fable 2 was kind of a fucking nightmare, and I don't think they ever released a Game of the Year edition for Fable 2. I think there's only the original version of Fable 2. Hold on. Could be wrong about that. Nope. Fable 2 was never officially released on PC. It remains an exclusive to the Xbox 360, making it the only game in the original Fable trilogy without a native PC port. Now, you can play it on Xbox Cloud Gaming or an emulator, which is fine, but it's not the same. Let me see here. So yeah, there's Fable 2 Game of the Year, which has the Not Hold DLC, See the Future. I do not like the DLC as much. Some of the DLC is fine for Fable 2. Some of the DLC is weird. Chesty in Fable 2. If you guys don't know who Chesty is, it's one of the most evil beings ever. It's a sentient chest, and it may be one of the most evil creatures I have ever encountered in a video game. It was like extremely dark for Fable 2, some of the shit that Chesty was doing in that game. But I like Fable 2 a lot. I really, really enjoy it. I'd argue, I would say I probably love Fable 2, but Fable 1 is my jam. I adore Fable 1 so much, dude. I absolutely love the game. I love the main story. I loved all the DLC for it. I love the weapons and the items, the way combat works. Fable 3 was one of the biggest disappointments for me because I was really excited for Fable 3, and then you play it and essentially like half of the quests are you going out into the woods to fight Balverines, getting killed by the Balverines, and then having to find some guy in the woods and hold his hand to walk him back to and escort him back to fucking some camp somewhere. And I hated the hand holding portion of the game. I don't know why they thought you going around holding people's hand was a cool like gameplay mechanic. And also one of the problems too is in the game you can have like a sword. There are legendary swords and items in the game, but you have like a main weapon that you can have. And they were like, you can customize it to look however you want it to look. It's your thing and it evolves with you. But so basically what the game would do is it would evolve based on what you were doing with the sword. And so if you killed a bunch of Balverines, the sword might start dripping with blood or whatever. Well, the problem with that is, in the game, there's a portion of the game where you're required to fight a bunch of skeletons, and you kill so many fucking skeletons that the sword will grow a bone handle on it, regardless, because the game goes, you've killed so many skeletons, that's a huge part of your character, and so the sword wants you to have a bone handle. And I go, yeah, but I don't want a bone handle. I would like it to look cool because of these other features on it. And I go, that's too fucking bad, pal. Okay, you had to fight a bunch of these skeletons that we made you fight as a mandatory part of the game, and guess what? Now you're stuck with a bone handle. Get the fuck out of my face. There's also random like difficulty spikes in the game that made no sense when it came to combat. There's a lot of problems with Fable 3. I bet if I played it again, I might look back more fondly on it because of some of the other garbage that has come out, since that. But a lot of the things in Fable 3 kind of sucked. It was a weird thing, man. Even the whole thing of like, you didn't like, even though you beat the game, it's not really over. You become the king, but there's a lot more to do after you become the king. And then like the main bad guy in that setting, like the creature thing that's like trying to destroy the world, kind of garbage. Fable 1 and Fable 2 are like leagues better in every way than Fable 3, so... Harbinger for 5 says, I did rotating saves for Ryzen and the LX games because of the faction lock-ins. Tough games, but I do enjoy it. Risen, not Ryzen. I actually have Risen. I don't know what ELEX is. Never played that, but I do have Risen actually on Steam. I always forget to save it in a game. I'm stuck going back to the last, which is about 10 hours behind, or I'm stuck and I usually just abandon the game entirely. That's not a good way to do it, buddy. You got to save. I regularly save in games, no matter what I'm doing. Wyoming Sasquatch for 2 says, chirp. There's no chirp. There's no chirp. Nothing like having save on an old memory card get corrupted on you? Yeah, dude. What do you think about the new Fable coming out? Yeah, so I checked it out. Here's the thing. I think it looks like old school Fable in a lot of ways. I'm not holding my breath that it's going to be a good game. Okay, I'm not going to be delusional and think that it's going to be a good game, or that it's not going to be filled with a bunch of nonsense and garbage that I don't like. I am not going to trick myself into thinking that. However, I don't think it looks that bad. I actually don't think it looks that bad. I have my main complaint about it is that it looks very... I'll just pull it up. I'll pull it up and I'll show you guys, because I'll tell you what I'm concerned about. Yeah, so it looks very Unreal Engine 5, for lack of a better term. It feels like there's an Unreal Engine 5 vibe to it. I like some of this. I like the houses. I like the giant fruits and things like that in there. Don't clip that I said giant fruits. Get the fuck out of my face. First of all, yeah, somebody did point this out correctly, and I do think it's important. They do have a character customization feature in the game that they were like, hey, you can customize the way your character looks. But one of the things, yeah, they show when your character walks into town, this is a male version of your character. Hold on, not here. Yeah. So like male characters, they still walk the same as like a female character. And a lot of people think they haven't changed the animation yet for it. And that's something that they missed, overlooked. Because a lot of the rumors now that were circulating is that it did not have a character customization. Fable 1 does not. Fable 1 makes you play as a male character in the game. You look how you look, and some of your looks can be changed with like mustaches or tattoos, and then based on how evil or not evil you are, blah blah blah. Fable 2, essentially the same thing, except you could pick male or female for your character. And there's even a quest in the game where you can get a potion that looks like a giant penis that lets you one time flip your gender if you didn't already. However, in this game, I think they were intending on making you play as a female character only and leaving you that way. And then people complained and they said, never mind, we'll just put in some character customization as well. And so the body frame didn't change yet. The animation for a male character hasn't changed yet. Yeah. But so those things are all in the game. You know, they kind of just touch on them briefly and move on. This looks like Albion for the most part. One of my bigger issues is that Unreal Engine and a lot of other, and just games in general, have a very washed out grayscale palette. This should have higher contrast to it. I think it should be a lot more like the colors. I love how green it is, but these greens should pop more. Everything in Fable, I think, should have almost a little bit of an exaggerated color scheme to it. And when that's not there, it just doesn't feel the same. I think the game looks good, but I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Because like when you're playing Fable 1 and stuff, it just things have like a weird, like, just kind of, everything kind of has just like this very fantasy vibe to it that I feel like is missing from this game. But overall, I think it looks a lot like Fable 2, and I'm not mad at them about that. I'm more concerned with the content of the game itself and whether or not that's going to be good. I do agree, Random Max. Fable 1 had much cooler armor, much cooler swords, like the Harbinger, which you can't pull out of the stone unless you have enough physique to do so and stuff. I like that. I like that there's certain weapons and stuff you don't have access to in the game, because if you go for a certain build, you can't use those weapons because maybe there's a prophecy behind it or whatever. Yeah. And then the dog in Fable 2, I did not like in the beginning, but I warmed to him over time. Jose Taco says, Mike, the Doomsday rumors were said by Beak on the Nooner, F&T, X-Men destroys Toby's Spider-Man world. Okay, yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, that the rumor is that the opening of Doomsday has the X-Men fighting Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and his world gets destroyed in an incursion. That sounds kind of messy, but we'll see. I mean, if it happens, maybe it'll be interesting. Just feels like a lot of like low rent nostalgia bait, which that's about what I expected them to do with this movie. So the new Fable looks dead ass. Random Max says, I want to know something funny. I actually pitched my Poop Man cartoon idea to Ripa. Never heard anything back. Well, if you haven't already, you should reach out, because sometimes he just misses stuff. Sometimes he might have looked at it and then just not, or he might have thought you weren't serious. You should probably let him know. Jack of Blades has such a good design. Jack of Blades was a rad bad guy, dude. I can't remember if I played the third one or not. It's not good. I never really looked into Fable. Sounds interesting, I suppose. Turd, I think you'd like it for what it is. It has a very unique vibe that not a lot of other fantasy games have. I like Fable 1 a lot. Fable 2 is also a lot of fun, but Fable 1 is my favorite of the franchise, so. Meek doesn't know how to handle the bone. That's true, because I'm not gay. I just use magic and you're gonna beat the skeletons, Mike? Yeah, but then your gun starts to change too. And I like using a sword. That's the thing. Like I don't know, it's just I had complaints. Yes, in Fable 2 you can make statues of yourself for fans to enjoy with whatever emote you use. Yes. The humping hero, dude. Hell yeah, Sandra Franca, that's funny. There was no chirp. There's no chirp. No chirp. Glenathan for 5 said, did you see the news today about the office style interviews with your companions? I did not see that, actually. I'll check it out. That sounds awful, actually. Why me Satisfied for 2 says, what the really is no chirp sound mute tax. Oh, I know what I did here. I turned that off, actually. My bad. There's no chirp. My bad. I actually had that muted. Thank you, YM Satisfied for the 2. Glenathan, thank you for the 5. I did not see that, Glenathan. I'll look more into that and read about it or watch it because I did not watch it yet. So, yeah, the character customization was added because they got all the backlash for the garbage main character. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But I'm glad that they caved. I doubt they'll listen to fans any more than that, but I'm glad that they actually caved for a little bit. So, I mean, animate and voice a completely different gender of a character, I would feel like I've delayed the game by an additional year. Was the original character voiced by someone, though? I don't remember if they are, because in the Fable 1, 2, and 3, no, Fables 1 and 2, your character doesn't talk. I think your character does talk in 3, though. All right, guys, I am going to wrap it up here, though. I know it's a brief stream. Like I said, I didn't even expect to go live today, but I am going to wrap it up here because I do have some things I got to do in the morning. But I am going to try to stream tomorrow in the afternoon. Now that a lot of other things that I've been trying to deal with behind the scenes are dealt with, I am going to try to stream in the afternoon. I will keep you guys posted on that. As far as what's going to happen. Probably won't be a Fright Mike stream unless it's in the evening. It'll probably just be like a gaming stream of some kind. I might even just play Where Winds Meet. That's what I've been playing. That's the game I'm obsessed with right now. So I may just play Where Winds Meet on there. We're going to raid somebody. Let me see here. Who's live? We're going to raid... We're going to raid Can Man. There we go. All right, guys. We're going to raid Can Man. Listen. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on an impromptu stream like this. I appreciate you guys. Good, I'm tired after my 70-hour week. Dude, I feel that, Frank. Get some rest, my friend. Appreciate you. Guys, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Thank you for the recommitments. And always, as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Thank you so much. We will get back to gaming soon. Don't go yet, Mike. I have to Forest Beyond the Trees. I got to get to bed, dude. I'm tired. I wasn't even thinking I was able to pull off a stream at all today. So, much love to Rough Night. I hope you feel better soon, sir. Stay warm out there, guys. Yeah, like I said, tomorrow we'll be doing a stream. We'll be hanging out. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your night, and we will talk to you guys all later. What was that? All right. See ya. Bye.
Get your